This screenshot is generating a lot of buzz right now in Rise of Kingdoms communities because it is implying that there are museum buffs on the way. And although there may be more commanders that get museum buffs, in fact, I think it is all but guaranteed that the museum was put in to give more and more buffs to commanders over time to try to balance them. I think that this screenshot is almost certainly fake, and we can prove it. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the possibilities for relic commanders, which commanders are likely to get relic next, why this particular screenshot is fake, but also why it might be reasonable to see some buffs to these commanders in the not too distant future. Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and I felt it was very important to showcase why it is that this particular image is fake so that you can make better commander investments and make better choices with your account, because the news that we might be getting more relics would actually be really game-changing. In fact, Rise of Kingdoms has been teasing things recently that, like, there's some new Blood Knight thing that was, like, really unclear what's coming. I don't know. But I can tell you that this image foretelling what's coming into the future is fake. Now, let me just talk briefly about what's here. It's got a picture of Constantine. In fact, let me zoom this out. Constantine with some relic buffs, Alexander the Great with 25% attack and 10% skill damage taken reduction, and then Khan with 20% health, I think that is, and 200 damage factor. But I don't think that these are real. And they would have been really compelling if they were real. I mean, giving Constantine 10% attack and 10% march speed is pretty good. I mean, anytime you just throw 20% of stats on there, it's pretty gangbuster. And I think it actually is very, very believable that they would go and buff pre-Season of Conquest commanders. I think the ones that are going to get relics next will include probably Khan and Saladin. It will almost certainly include Alexander the Great and Constantine. It will almost certainly include Edward of Woodstock and Tamaris. I think those commanders are, if they're going to add more relics, definitely up next as the ones that they would do that for. But here's the reasons that I think this screenshot is fake. And the first thing we need to look at, and it's very close, it's difficult to see, but I will point this out to you, is that if you look right here, I will draw a line pointing to the edge of this. There is a line across this screenshot that doesn't actually make sense. And whoever photoshopped this got really close to making this work, but it's not quite there. And the reason that there is also this line and a very weird gap on these pedestals that looks unrealistic is that in game, there actually is a whole area right under here where it lists the commander's name. So because this is fake, this has to be doctored. This is how we know, by the way, that these are just not real. There's too many things wrong with this image for it even to be a picture of something on a test server. But I'm not done yet breaking down why you should not panic when you see this image and change how you might invest in commanders, because also I want to point out to you the three different icons that are here. We've got book, crown, and scrolls. Well, let me jump in game real quick and show you where those are. Here is the book, exactly the same from Julius Caesar. Whoops. Here is the crown from Frederick I. And then here is scrolls, the relic of Double C. They have reused exactly 0 of the icons for relics, so we have no reason to believe that they would reuse them again. And as I pointed out, here is where the name goes. Right here. So you can see that in that screenshot that they had, they cut right above the name and right below the name and smashed it together. And that's how they were able to generate the fake, the photoshopped screenshot of what those relics might ultimately be. So do I think that we are due for some relics on these commanders? Yes, 100%. I do think that it is very reasonable to mentally and emotionally prepare for commanders. And again, I will list them off, like Edward of Woodstock and Tamaris, Constantine, and I know Alexander the Great's already good, but Alexander the Great, and also Khan and Saladin to get buffs. The thing that I will say that makes me not as optimistic as I would like to be for the value of some of those buffs, especially on Khan, is that when we look at the way that the relics were initially implemented, we can already see that commanders like Hannibal Barca were not viable before, and now they are also still not viable. The relics on some of these commanders were not good enough. Not enough to make irrelevant commanders relevant yet again. So I am cautious and cautiously optimistic that perhaps in the future they will add some relics to these commanders that I was just talking about, and that they will be good enough, but I'm not holding my breath that a commander like Khan will ultimately suddenly become very good. And so they continue to be commanders that I would not recommend that you invest in. Instead, just save your sculptures for Season Conquest and go with the sure things. The sure things are Esong and Alexander the Great. And I made a dedicated video actually just yesterday detailing the exact order I would invest in Legendaries and Rise of Kingdoms. That, of course, is a list that I will update if things change, so subscribe so you don't miss when that happens, if there is further changes. And be on the lookout for more coverage on my channel for this Blood Knight thing. So subscribe so you don't miss that too. As soon as we figure out what the heck they're talking about, then I will make sure to post about it here. And until next time, you have fun smashing your enemies, but do, in my opinion, do save up some amount of that relic currency. I think that actually the exhibit currency and relic currency could be really important to have, because I suspect they will add more commanders there, hopefully soon. And I think this fake leak is definitely not true, but there could be something coming, man, and I would want to be ready for it.